Kansas City, Missouri, is the largest city in the state, straddling the vital Missouri-Kansas border. It's renowned for its influential role in Midwestern commerce, vibrant jazz legacy, world-famous barbecue, and quilted urban tapestry. The city comprises diverse neighborhoods, each with its own history, from stately brick suburbs to dense, historic inner-city corridors. Despite its cultural vibrancy, Kansas City has faced persistent struggles with violent crime. The city consistently records homicide rates that are among the highest in the nation for cities of its size, with gun violence being the leading driver. According to FBI data, Kansas City recorded 7,534 violent crimes in 2023, translating to a rate of 1,477.7 per 100,000 residents, about 300% higher than the national average. In addition, there were 25,393 property crimes, or 4,980 per 100,000 people, exceeding the national rate by roughly 155%. In 2023, homicides hit a record high at 185 killings, surpassing the previous all-time peak of 182 in 2020. Kansas City has reported 84 homicides in the first half of 2025, up from 75 during the same period from last year in 2024, an increase of 12%.
Doing this shit up here, all this shit crack, nigga. 24/7, drive-bys, gang banging shit, all this shit, nigga. It's the soil, Killa City, nigga. I'm repping to death.
Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley is a neighborhood in the southern region of KC, with a population of around 1,558 residents. It is bounded by Bannister Road to the south, Highway 71 to the east, and Blue River Road to the northwest. According to recent data, crime in Hidden Valley is substantially higher than national levels. Overall crime rates are 377% higher than the U.S. average, while violent crime is 715% higher than the national average. Statistically, that means residents face about a 1 in 10 chance of becoming a victim of crime.
You can see the scene is clear now, and we can't tell you which building because we weren't able to get super close earlier. Police say they were called here just before 11 this morning. They found an adult male and female both shot dead outside of a building. Police say there was an argument and fight before the shooting happened, and witnesses reported more than a dozen gunshots. Now, we spoke with Rosalind Temple with KC Mothers in Charge. She came out to the scene to help support those family members.
Hidden Valley is known for its quiet beauty, an enclave tucked into the trees, with spacious yards and a calm atmosphere. But behind that charm lies a different story, one of stalled growth, economic hardship, and a vision for development that never fully took shape. Its decline wasn't sudden or dramatic, but gradual, a slow fade marked by poverty, rising vacancies, and the feeling of being left behind. Marlboro East. Marlboro East is a neighborhood with a population around 1,333 residents. The borders are East 75th Street to the north, Prospect Avenue to the west, Blue River Road to the east, and 85th Street to the south. Crime in Marlboro East is alarmingly high. Overall, rates are 538% above the national average, while violent crime soars to 1,516% higher than the U.S. average. For residents, you have a 1 in 7 chance of becoming a victim of crime.
People who live near an abandoned motel in the Marlboro neighborhood say it's an eyesore and a safety concern. South Kansas City reporter Megan Abundance talked with neighbors and the out-of-state property owner about potential solutions.
Okay, I did 23 years in the Army. I'm a field artillery officer. I wouldn't go over there.
Carl Huffman,
Because it looks scary.
is talking about the 4 Acres Motel.
A bad-looking site.
Diane Hirschberger remembers what it used to look like.
I've lived in the neighborhood 28 years. It was a functioning hotel.
There was a murder, then a fire. For years, it's been this.
It looks like a bomb site or something.
It's just sitting there in a state of decrepitude, and it's Why?
Questions.
Why is this eyesore here?
Many of them.
Look around and see other areas. They don't have this. Why is it being left to just sit here and decay?
They say it's a crime magnet.
I think the primary problem lies with the owner not living up to what he says.
On the phone from Texas, Eddie Gwynn.
We have boarded the property up multiple times, concrete borders to alleviate or stop people from being able to dump.
He says people have stripped the copper and solar lights added for safety.
We did come up with a plan.
100 units of senior housing.
It's talk, but it's like the music we all want to hear, solutions to affordable housing.
So they've waited and waited and waited, but say nothing concrete has come.
No, the community does not want to get together for a public meeting to hear a new plan when you've not followed through with any of the other plans.
Are there any promises that you can make about timing?
There's no promises that we can make about timing because the city can't make any promises about timing.
What is now Marlboro East began as farmland and orchards. In the late 1800s, change arrived with the Dodson-Demi streetcar line, linking Westport to Prospect, and the railway depot at 85th and Prospect. By the 1910s, real estate developers saw potential. The neighborhood's identity grew stronger with the rise of the Marlboro Village Commercial District, a bustling hub of shops and services that anchored the community in the 1920s. In 1923, Fairyland Park opened its gates on 75th and Prospect Avenue, and for decades it was a place of wonder. Families spread out on picnic blankets, and wooden roller coasters roared across Marlboro. Fairyland Park was more than just an amusement park, but a landmark, a source of pride and belonging. Yet not everyone was welcome. For much of its history, Fairyland Park was segregated, open only to white visitors, while black families in the surrounding neighborhoods could see the rides and hear the music but were barred from entering. That began to change in the 1960s when civil rights activists staged protests and demonstrations outside the gates, demanding equal access, and though integration eventually came in 1964, the scars of exclusion remained. By the 1970s, the park itself was fading as larger, more modern attractions drew visitors away, disinvestment set in, and neglect took its toll, until finally, in 1977, Fairyland closed its gates for good, leaving behind an empty field. For Marlboro, the loss was more than the disappearance of an amusement park. It was the loss of a shared space, first denied to part of the community and then gone altogether. A reminder of how fragile and fleeting a neighborhood's anchors can be. Marlboro, now predominantly black, began to feel the weight of neglect. Homes deteriorated, and investment slowed to a trickle. Highway construction cut through the area, displacing businesses and dividing neighbors. Soon after came federally mandated school integration, reshaping the community once again. Blue Hills. Blue Hills is a neighborhood in the central eastern region of Kansas City, bounded by the north Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, the south by 63rd Street, east by Prospect Avenue, and the west by the Paseo. The population is around 5,200 residents. Crime in Blue Hills is significantly higher than the national average. Overall, rates are 324% higher, while violent crime reaches 511% above the national norm. For residents, you have a 1 in 11 chance you will become a victim of crime. Blue Hills was established in the early 1900s as a predominantly white, working-class neighborhood. Its streets filled with new homes throughout the 1910s and 1920s, reflecting the broader growth and urban expansion of Kansas City at the time. But by the 1960s, the community faced dramatic demographic changes. Real estate agents engaged in blockbusting, convincing white homeowners to sell at a loss by stoking fear of incoming black residents. The transition was rapid, and by the 1970s, Blue Hills had become predominantly black. This shift mirrored a nationwide pattern of urban disinvestment, leaving many inner-city neighborhoods to grapple with economic and social challenges. The late 20th century brought economic hardships to Blue Hills. The 2008 financial crisis exacerbated existing issues, leading to increased foreclosures and vacant properties. Many homes were boarded up, and the neighborhood faced challenges related to crime and economic instability. However, efforts by local organizations aimed to rehabilitate homes and revitalize the area. Notable residents of Blue Hills include platinum-selling rapper Tech-9, born Aaron Dantes Yates on November 8, 1971, is a pioneering figure in the American hip-hop scene. Renowned for his rapid-fire delivery and intricate rhyme schemes, he has cultivated a dedicated fan base known as Technicians. In 1999, Tech-9 co-founded Strange Music, an independent record label alongside business partner Travis O'Gwen. Under this label, he has released numerous albums, including Angelic in 2001, Absolute Power in 2002, Ever Ready, The Religion in 2006, K.O.D. in 2009, and Nina in 2019.
This is 3826. This is where we moved after 904 Michigan from the projects. We're moving on up, of course. You know, this is moving on up when you're coming from Wayne Minor. This was my grandma's house. We was in here like 13 deep. It's crazy. Way crazy. We're on 58th and Forest, man. This is where I moved when my mom got married. I used to put linoleum down on the concrete right here and break dance right here. Hit my head right here. Spinning on my back and shit, bust my head on this bottom step right here.
In addition to dancing, Tech-9 was also spending time at a local skating rink.
I was at the skating rink one day, and I heard this shit. It sounded spooky as a motherfucker, but it made me stop in the middle of the floor. That's the first pulse that made me stop, like, it was fucking Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force, Planet Rock. Took me by storm, homie.
Blue Hills notable gangs and hoods. RDV. The 57th Street Rogue Dog Villain Bloods. One of the few blood hoods in the mostly Crip-dominated 50s. The 57th Street Rogue Dog Villains, RDVs, are also a Kansas City rap group from the late 1990s underground scene, featuring members like Bakari, Mr. White Bear, Big Scoop, T. Will, with appearances by Tech-9 and the late Lil Nitty. Fogtown. 5-1 Gangsters. A notorious Crip hood around 51st Street, one of the most reputable Crip hoods in KC. Home to Fat Tone. Anthony Fat Tone Watkins, born April 29th, 1981, was a prominent gangster rapper from the 51st Street neighborhood, often referring to KC as Killa City. He was known for his gritty, street-focused lyrics and authentic representation of KC's underground hip-hop scene. Discovered as a teenager by Sacramento rapper Sibo, Fat Tone's early career included an appearance at age 15 on Mr. Stinky's 1998 track, Armed Criminal Action, alongside Tech-9, Tone Capone, and Dundila the Popper. Tragically, in 2005, Fat Tone and his associate were lured to Las Vegas under false pretenses and fatally shot by Andre Mac Minister Dow, believed to be in retaliation for Mac Dre's murder in Kansas City, although Fat Tone was later cleared of any involvement.
Home invasions, carjackings, chaos.
Tonight, a new picture is forming on why crime may seem like it's out of control in Kansas City.
And it centers on former rapper Fat Tone. KMBC9's Jim Flink is live with new details you'll see only on 9. Jim?
Larry, half a dozen home invasions, not to mention carjacking, street heists, even potentially murder, all of them linked in some way to Fat Tone, that former rap leader who was murdered in Las Vegas. And apparently all of these crimes have something to do with his associates. Just this past Monday, a man was murdered at 55th and College for his hubcaps. Tonight, police are investigating a Fat Tone associate as the possible trigger man.
You keep thinking it's a game, and because you ain't been to KC.
Fat Tone, a.k.a. Anthony Watkins, was murdered a month ago in Vegas. His body found in a bullet-riddled car. Sources confirm his murder has set off chaos in Kansas City's Central Core.
The community is in an uproar, confusion everywhere, violence escalating to some degree.
Police tell us Fat Tone's associates are committing random crimes like home invasions and carjackings, and Fat Tone's enemies are retaliating, murdering his aunt a few weeks ago.
What you see with Fat Tone is what you should not be.
But Tony Caldwell and Mark Porter say Fat Tone didn't have power.
That one person has caused all this havoc because of a weak community.
Their message, it's time to take back the streets.
All it takes is two people on that block, one person on that block, saying it's not going to happen on my block.
Within minutes of the 55th and College murder, the peacekeepers were out in force.
We started canvassing the area.
Within 8 hours, the suspected killer was in custody, sending a message.
If you're going to live in a neighborhood, you got to be a neighbor. You can't be a resident. You got to be a neighbor. Because if you're not a neighbor, the Fat Tones of the world going to kick you around like a rubber ball.
Vineyard/Vineyard Northwest. The Vineyard and Vineyard Northwest neighborhoods sit adjacent to one another and are situated in the eastern part of the city. They have a combined population of around 3,600 residents. Vineyard crime rates are 361% higher than the national average, with violent crime soaring 807% higher than the national average. In Vineyard, you have a 1 in 10 chance of becoming a victim of crime. Nearby Vineyard Northwest crime rates are 469% higher than the national average, with violent crimes reaching 1,042% above the national average. You have a 1 in 8 chance of becoming a victim of crime. Over time, the neighborhoods face challenges common to many urban areas, including economic shifts and changes in housing demand. These factors contributed to a gradual decline in the neighborhood's vitality, leading to increased vacancies and a reduction in community engagement. Vineyard Northwest also faced significant economic transitions that shook its residential stability. Industrial shifts, changing employment patterns, and urban development projects all reshaped the area, bringing periods of economic hardship for many residents and challenging the neighborhood's cohesion and vitality. Vineyard notable gangs and hoods. 4 Block. The 40s of Kansas City and home to the East Side 4 Trey Crips. 3900 Vineyard. Areas around 39th Street in Vineyard. FSM. 40th Street Mafia. Blue Valley. Situated on the east side, the Blue Valley area is comprised of multiple neighborhoods including South Blue Valley, East Blue Valley, and West Blue Valley. The official boundaries of Blue Valley are 12th Street to the north, U.S. Highway 40 to the south, Van Brunt Boulevard to the west, and Interstate 435 to the east. Although South, East, and West Blue Valley are all considered dangerous, Central Blue Valley stands out with the highest rate of violent crime. Central Blue Valley faces crime rates that are 364% higher than the national average. Violent crime in the neighborhood is 1,156% higher than the national average. You face a 1 in 10 chance of becoming a victim of crime.
Some difficult news to share. A 2-month-old baby girl critically injured in a triple shooting last week has died. Kansas City, Missouri police confirmed Desiree Bowden passed away Sunday. The baby and 2 adults were found shot inside a duplex at 26th and Hardesty 1 week ago. 27-year-old Devon Bowden was killed. Police say the investigation is ongoing. They are not looking for any more suspects.
As workers flock to the rapidly industrializing Blue Valley area, anchored by major employers such as the Ford Motor Company plant and Armco, the neighborhood grew into a strong working-class enclave. But the prosperity was short-lived. When the U.S. steel industry faltered in the late 20th century and Ford shifted operations to its new Claycomo plant in 1951, jobs and economic stability began to vanish. Today, roughly one-third of Blue Valley's housing stock dates back to 1939 or earlier, according to census data. Like much of the East Side, the neighborhood is scarred by vacancy, with about a quarter of homes standing empty. In many parts of Blue Valley, the median sales price of a home hovers around just $6,200, a stark reflection of decades of disinvestment and decline. Vacant lots, underfunded schools, and rising crime defined the late 20th century in Blue Valley. Many families who could move left. Those who remained faced cycles of poverty, violence, and deteriorating housing. Blue Valley nearby notable gangs and hoods. Hilltop. Village Green, a large housing complex, a reputable area within the 20s. Sheffield. A reputable Mexican hood off of 12th Street. 20s. A large area on the east side in the 20s, the area has been known locally as Twampside, Hillside, and 24, 24th Street. Norton Block Gangsters. A reputable Crip set within the 20s. Independence Avenue. Independence Avenue has long been a vital corridor connecting downtown KC to the eastern neighborhoods. Historically, it was a bustling commercial hub, serving as a gateway for trade and cultural exchange. Over the decades, the avenue witnessed the rise and fall of various businesses, reflecting the city's dynamic economic landscape. In recent years, certain sections of Independence Avenue, particularly around the Independence Plaza neighborhood, have experienced elevated crime rates. In 2025, the violent crime rate in Independence Plaza was reported at 22.51 per 1,000 residents, earning it a grade of F for violent crime. Notable hoods near Independence Avenue. Parker Square. A well-known public housing complex located on 12th Street, an area that was once part of the 5 Ace Deuce, 5 Ace 2 Alliance. CTP. 500 block of the Shoto Court projects. Built in the late 1940s, part of the city's first wave of public housing after World War II. In the late 2010s, as part of broader efforts to reform public housing, the Shoto Court projects were demolished. Gannett Manor. Built in the 1950s and one of the first housing projects to be built in KC. The complex was later redeveloped into mixed-income housing. T.B. Watkins. The Theron B. Watkins Homes of 12th Street. Riverview Gardens. Wayne Minor. Named in honor of Wayman Wayne Minor, a black soldier who died in World War I, just hours before the signing of the armistice. Constructed in 1960, originally, Wayne Minor Court featured 5 high-rise buildings, 9 and 10 stories that contained 664 housing units. City housing officials reported that the Wayne Minor high-rise project never achieved more than 64% occupancy and had steadily deteriorated into a crime-plagued eyesore. At the time, repair costs for the complex ran about $10,000 per month, straining city resources. In the 1980s, its condition and reputation had made it largely uninhabitable. However, by 1987, the complex had deteriorated significantly, leading to its demolition. The demolition was notable for being the nation's largest housing project implosion at that time, involving the use of 2,500 explosive charges to bring down the structures.
You can get a good view around it. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of people, and quite a few people atop University.
Here comes the countdown.
Here's the countdown.
2 and 1, here it goes.
Ruskin Heights. Located in South KC, Ruskin Heights is generally bounded by East 107th Street to the north, Blue Ridge Boulevard to the west, Herrick Avenue to the east, and Longview Road to the south. The neighborhood is home to around 24,000 residents. Over the years, Ruskin Heights has faced mounting struggles with crime, leaving the neighborhood with some of the highest rates in Kansas City. Today, overall crime is 529% higher than the national average, while violent crime stands at an alarming 923% above the norm. For residents, that means living with a 1 in 7 chance of becoming a victim of crime.
Is now charged in the death of 15-year-old Terrell Bell. The young man was shot and killed in Sycamore Park Tuesday. Mayor Quentin Lucas and Bell's mom met in that park this morning. That's where Abby Dodge joins us now. And Abby, what did Bell's mother have to say earlier today?
Well, Carolyn, she says she wants justice. There is one arrest in this case, but she says she wants more people to be held accountable. This morning, the mayor and Bell's mother met here, and they spoke about the loss of this young man and the need for change in our community. Today's gathering was a different scene than it was in Sycamore Park on Tuesday. Court records say Bell told his friends there was an issue on the school bus. Surveillance video shows Bell and a suspect talking about fighting on the bus. Bell and 3 suspects are seen on video fighting in the park. That video also shows one person grabbing a gun from a car and standing like they're going to shoot right before Bell was shot. Court records KCTV5 got last night say investigators got a tip about a possible suspect. That tip did lead to one arrest yesterday. Bell's mother says one arrest isn't enough.
I want everybody that chased my son down charged. Everybody. It shouldn't be. If you chase down somebody to kill somebody, how the hell are you sleeping in your bed at night? They need to be held accountable for something. Accessory, something. Murder, something.
In the 1970s, 1960s, and 1950s, Ruskin Heights experienced a record high in homeowners and general population. People were moving into the neighborhood at record speed. On May 19, 1957, a devastating F5 tornado tore through Ruskin Heights, cutting a 71-mile path of destruction across major businesses and neighborhoods. It was the largest and most destructive tornado of the May 1957 Central Plains outbreak and came to be known locally as the Ruskin Heights tornado. The storm left behind widespread devastation, leveling homes, schools, and shops, and leaving deep scars on the community. On August 6, 1980, Bannister Mall was completed and opened. The mall was one of the largest malls in the Kansas City area and in the region in a previously vital and vibrant shopping area. By the mid to late 1990s, newer and more desirable developments further south and in Johnson County drew residents and businesses away, causing the area around Bannister Mall to decline. Coupled with persistent crime, the mall and Ruskin Heights gained a negative reputation, ultimately contributing to the current blight that defines the area today. At its peak, Bannister Mall housed as many as 180 stores. However, by 2007, only 50 stores remained. In April of that year, officials announced that the mall would close due to declining local population and rising operational costs. Bannister Mall was demolished in early 2009. While Ruskin Heights has largely rebuilt in the decades since the tornado, Critics argue that the neighborhood's recovery was hindered by the decision to construct inexpensive, quickly built homes after the disaster. Many believe this focus on affordability over quality left the community with housing stock that aged poorly and contributed to long-term challenges in neighborhood stability.